Okay, let's just dive right into this explainer, because today we're talking about why taking risks and totally reframing how you see failure is literally the absolute key to unlocking your potential after graduation. Look, if you're stepping out of that academic bubble and into the real world right now, you're probably feeling this crazy mix of immense excitement and, honestly, pure terror. And hey, that's completely normal. It's a massive transition. But what if the very thing you're terrified of, failing, is actually the only real way to guarantee your success? Today, we're going to completely dismantle that traditional, safe advice you've probably been fed your whole life. Drawing from an incredibly motivational message by Denzel Washington, we're going to break down exactly why playing it safe is actually the most dangerous thing you can do for your career, your personal growth, and your legacy.
There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that's less than the one you're capable of living. That's Nelson Mandela. And man, that really captures the urgency of not settling as you step into the real world, doesn't it? Modern culture is constantly pushing us to play it safe, right? Take the guaranteed paycheck, keep your head down, don't stand out too much. When you're picking your path, your major, or your first big career move, it is so tempting to just shrink yourself to fit into this nice, safe, predictable little box. I mean, it sounds smart, but passion does not live in that box. Finding your real purpose demands that you step into the full capability of what you can achieve, stripping away those safety nets that are really just holding you back from greatness.
So think about the classic graduation advice from well-meaning family members or guidance counselors. Make sure you have something to fall back on. Sounds super wise, right? Highly practical. But let's actually break down the psychology of that for a second. If you're planning to fall backward, you are literally mentally preparing for defeat before the battle even starts. You're anticipating a retreat. Falling forward, on the other hand, is a total paradigm shift. It means if you're going to stumble, you stumble in the exact direction of your goals. At the very least, you want to see what you're going to hit when you hit the ground. It shifts you away from a life of playing defense into one of relentless, forward-moving action.
Act 1. The inevitability of failure. Let's see why acknowledging that you are going to fail isn't pessimistic, but is actually incredibly empowering.
Here's the harsh, unavoidable reality check. You are going to fail at some point. You're going to lose. You're going to embarrass yourself. You're going to completely suck at something the first time you try it. No doubt about it. The fall-forward mindset is about just accepting that inevitability instead of running away from it. The whole point is that failing repeatedly is basically just prep work for your success. Take Denzel Washington's early career. He tells this amazing story about auditioning for a Broadway musical. Perfect role, he felt great about it. Just one tiny glaring problem. He absolutely could not sing. So he completely bombed the audition. Embarrassing, right? But he didn't quit acting and fall back on an easier path. He just prepped for the next audition and the next one. And the incredible poetry of that story? 30 years later, he starred in a phenomenal play called Fences on Broadway, won a Tony Award, and guess what? It was at the exact same theater where he failed that musical audition decades earlier. Like they say, you hang around the barber shop long enough, sooner or later you're going to get a haircut.
So every grad sitting out there in a cap and gown has the training and the talent to succeed. You've proven you can do the coursework. But the real question is, do you actually have the guts to fail? You've got the degree, sure, but do you have the courage to look foolish while learning something totally new in the real world? Because to get something you never had, you absolutely have to do something you've never done. And that inevitably means risking failure. If you are perfectly comfortable right now, you're stagnating. Simply put, if you don't fail, you're not even trying.
Act 2. Historical resilience. Let's look at some cold, hard, historical proof that legendary success is built squarely right on top of massive, repeated failures.
Take a look at this number, 2,600. Just let that sink in for a moment. That is not a record for hits or games played. No, that is the number of times baseball legend Reggie Jackson struck out during his career. He struck out 2,600 times, which happens to be the most in the entire history of Major League Baseball. He walked back to that dugout in defeat more than anyone else.
But you don't hear about the strikeouts, do you? Because people only remember the home runs. Society remembers and rewards the times you actually connect and hit it out of the park. Nobody cares about the swings and misses once you've proven you can put the ball in the bleachers. Those 2,600 strikeouts, they were simply the required price of admission for the 563 home runs that got him inducted into the Hall of Fame. The misses don't define you at all. The connections do.
Okay, here's another staggering historical number for you. 1,000. Imagine walking into a lab, day after day, for 1,000 days, and leaving with absolutely nothing to show for your effort. That is exactly what Thomas Edison did. He conducted 1,000 completely failed experiments trying to invent a mechanism that would illuminate the world. 1,000 separate times, pouring his time, his money, and his mental energy into something that flat out did not work.
But here is the incredible payoff. Experiment number 1001 was the light bulb. Every single failed attempt wasn't a waste of time. It was just one necessary step closer to literally changing the world forever. If he had used that fallback mindset at attempt 999, if he decided to play it safe, we would quite literally still be sitting in the dark right now. Fall forward. Every failure is just new data. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's a completely essential, unavoidable component of it.
Act 3. Passion, purpose, and action. So now that we aren't terrified of striking out, how do we actually transition to mapping out exactly how you can turn your passion into a purposeful career? Well, here are 3 specific steps derived from our source material that you can use right now to effectively identify and chase down your true passions. First up, think outside the box. Remember that old 9 dots IQ puzzle where you had to connect all the dots with just 4 straight, continuous lines? The only physical way to actually solve it was to draw your lines well outside the imaginary boundaries of those dots. Your career is going to require that exact same boundary pushing. Step 2, dream big, but set clear goals. Because dreams without actionable goals are really just dreams. Break your vision down into daily, weekly, and yearly objectives. You need that structure and consistency to finish what you start. And third, take chances. Do not let the paralyzing fear of a single misstep keep you frozen in place.
And remember, sometimes failing spectacularly is honestly the absolute best way to figure out where you're actually supposed to be going. Your life will never be a straight path. Take Denzel's own college experience. He didn't start off as a legendary actor. He started as a pre-med student at Fordham University. He took this class called cardiac morphogenesis, and he couldn't read it, couldn't say it, and sure couldn't pass it. He pivoted to pre-law, then journalism, and his GPA plummeted to a dismal 1.8. The university politely suggested he take some time off. So he's 20 years old, feeling like he hit absolute rock bottom. But then, on March 27, 1975, sitting in his mother's beauty shop in Mount Vernon, this elder woman looks at him from under a hairdryer and delivers this profound prophecy. She tells him he's going to travel the world and speak to millions of people. Turns out, hitting absolute rock bottom can actually lead to catching a prophecy that defines your ultimate calling.
And finding that calling isn't just about accumulating personal wealth or climbing the social ladder. It is about service. Look around. The world urgently needs your help. Whether you're bringing money, patience, or love, you are desperately needed to address crises everywhere. From terrible poverty in Africa to conflicts in the Middle East, recovery in Japan, all the way back to local communities in Alabama, Tennessee, and Philadelphia. The world needs a lot, and it needs it from you, the young people stepping into your full power. Some of you have money to invest, but maybe your gift isn't capital. Maybe it's the sheer patience required to teach and mentor the next generation. Maybe it's the profound empathy needed to heal in nursing, or the strategic mind needed in business.
So the ultimate question becomes, what are you going to do with what you have? You have to ask yourself how you'll actively use your unique, specific talents to solve these pressing global problems. And I'm not talking about how much you have, whether that's money or influence, but what you're going to do with the specific gifts you've been given right now. Taking risks isn't just about going for a high-paying job. It's about being open to people, being open to radical ideas, and committing to using your life to make an actual dent in the universe. True success is found right at the intersection of what you deeply love to do and what the world desperately needs from you. To truly drive this point home, I want you to imagine this vivid, sobering scenario. Imagine you are on your deathbed, and standing around your bed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. These are the ghosts of the incredible ideas you never acted on, the ghosts of the unique talents you didn't use just because you were too scared of looking foolish. And they're standing there angry, disappointed, and upset. They look down at you and say, "We came to you because you could have brought us to life, and now we have to go to the grave together."
So how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes? I want to leave you with that profound final question to really ignite your courage today. The world is out there waiting for your gifts. The chances you take, the people you meet, the deep faith that you have, that is what is going to define your legacy. So never be discouraged. Give everything you've absolutely got. Go out there, take the risk, and when you inevitably fall throughout your life, make sure you fall forward.